Good afternoon. I'm Julie Youngquist, the CEO of Streetwise, and this is Elise Youngquist, my guest co-host for the second week in a row. Welcome, Elise.
You are on with Streetwise Live for the next 25 minutes on CanTV 21. We are also streaming live on cantv.org/hotline. You can also join the conversation by calling 312-738-1600.
Excellent. Well, we have a great show lined up today. We have Streetwise editor Suzanne Haney, who will interview some of our friends from Dance for Life, the subject of the cover story of our magazine this week. Regular contributor A. Allen is back in the house to talk about Streetwise with a little twist. The tables are turned. He will be interviewed by my co-host today. So Allen will not be interviewing, he will be interviewed.
As always, let's start with a bit about Streetwise.
So Streetwise is all about economic empowerment for Chicagoans facing poverty and homelessness. Our vendors are trained and licensed to sell our weekly magazine to earn an income. They are entrepreneurs invested in their own economic advancements. Our STEP program prepares and assists people with getting jobs to earn a paycheck. And as always, everyone at Streetwise is welcome. They get a hot meal, they can use computers, charge their phones, receive mail, and more importantly, meet with social workers on hand to provide direct support or referral for basic living needs, housing, medical, legal, or general support. So, in my view, a great organization with a lot of support.
For more information about all that Streetwise has to offer, please visit www.streetwise.org, also up on the screen.
Here we go. There's our website. Up next, I'm going to go ahead and show the cover of the magazine. Here's our cover this week, Dance for Life, and I'm going to bring in Suzanne and her guest to talk about what Dance for Life is. I think the two of you here. I'll stay here. All right, Suzanne.
Well, I am going to introduce my guests. This is Harriet Ross. She is a founder of Dance for Life. And this is Mark Ferguson Gomez. He's one of the co-chairs of this year's gala, which is August 18th at the Auditorium Theater, which is basically Congress Plaza and Michigan Avenue. It's preceded by a gala at the Hilton. So the reason I immediately cued on Dance for Life when the story idea came to me is that Chicago is a world-class city, and it's trying to be even more. But there are the people who make up the world-class city, which is all the workers, and in this case, 200 dance companies. And so Dance for Life is like an insurance program for them. And I'm going to let Harriet tell us first how this started. Tell me some of that history that you gave me. It just made me almost cry. Oh. About 1991.
You have a tissue?
No.
Okay.
But,
well, it was 1991, and in Chicago, as in the rest of the country, the AIDS epidemic was rampant. Our friends on either side were all dying. First it happened in San Francisco, then it happened in New York, and then it happened to us. And then it happened throughout the world.
and
People
so one
were
of,
just dying.
and so one of the dancers who was a founder with you came to the idea. And you were like, well, I don't know what this will do, but it'll make us feel better. So you did the first Dance for Life.
Yeah, I didn't, I knew there were no cures, there was no medicine, there was nothing. What are we going to do? But it was mostly, we had to do something. We needed to do something. And so Keith said, well, and we were at the Joseph Holmes Chicago Dance Theater at the time, and he said, I'm going to ask, and he mentioned all the names of the dancers in the company. I'll ask them to dance, and so will you help me? Well, of course I'm going to help you, but why just us? Why not? And I said, why not Hubbard Street? Why not Gus Giordano? And I continued to mention all the companies, and Keith said, well, I don't know those companies.
But you did.
But I did. I said, so now I have my job. Okay, I'm going to do it.
So Hubbard Street couldn't do it that year, so they voted to give a day's pay. But
day's
Giordano was, so those were the two major companies at the time, Giordano and Hubbard Street.
And then there was River North who participated. They're not with us anymore, but certainly was a great company. Muntu, the African dance company, and they brought the house down.
Yes.
And several other companies. And it was a 400-seat theater, and I, frankly, being the pessimist, thought maybe we'd sell 50, 60 tickets. And so when Keith called me about a week or so before the performance and said, we're sold out, so I said, sold out of what? I figured T-shirts, anything but seats. And he said, we are sold out of seats. I said, really? And that was the start of sellouts from no matter what size the theater was.
So basically, it was the two major companies, Giordano and Hubbard Street. And then when Joffrey Ballet came here in 1995, they participated, and you were the general manager.
I was the
of
general
Joffrey.
manager.
So that was like a no-brainer. It was like, and so they have been participants every year, those three companies. And then there wind up being other companies that audition to participate. So Dance for Life has progressed. It sold out the first year at a small theater, went to another theater, sold out that bigger theater, and then a third theater, the Skyland Stage at Navy Pier, sold out that theater. So now it's at the Auditorium, which is this huge landmark, and the tickets start at $15, and it's danceforlife.org.
It's Chicago Dancers United.
Chicago Dancers United. So we're going to show you some pictures of some of the different companies. Julie's going to do the overhead for me. This is just an overview picture of some of the dancers. I'm going to just keep flicking them, and then we can talk about different ones. This is another just beautiful picture.
He's in the Joffrey.
He's in the Joffrey, okay. And these two?
Hannah Brixton, who has a piece in the show this year.
Okay.
And that is Prince, and he dances for a company called Visceral Dance Chicago.
So are they both dancing in the Randy Duncan piece, which is the overall one, or are they just
No,
posing?
Hannah is creating a work
Okay.
of a large group, like
37.
37.
And Prince is actually one of the dancers in Hannah's piece.
Okay, so I'm going to flick through to some of the other companies just so we can talk about them. This is Circra Rivera. This one, I have the descriptions in the magazine of what each company does, but you're welcome to kind of tell me about that. Tell me about them. Let me see. Circra Rivera
is a combination of dancers and musicians.
Okay.
And it is a work that has a certain amount of Latino presence.
Okay.
Because that is what it is, but it also is featuring a choreographer this year, Sherry Zunker.
Okay.
And Sherry Zunker is a marvelous choreographer, but she's part of our effort to celebrate the Year of the Woman.
Oh, cool. All right. So let me see. Let me get a couple more. This is Giordano, and this particular piece is called Tossed Around, a feeling that exploits chaos. As human beings, I think we experience instances where we are emotionally, physically, and spun around, okay? So that's Giordano.
And Nan is one of the two people who are getting
This is
an
also
award
Giordano.
this year.
Nan Giordano, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
She has been involved in Dance for Life all of our 27 years.
Okay. And the other one is Lou Conte, who is with Hubbard Street?
Who is retired as the artistic director of Hubbard Street
And founder.
Okay.
Yes.
and founder,
Yes.
and
That's Hubbard Street.
This is Hubbard Street on the screen
and
now.
That work is the work that's going to be presented as the finale this year.
Okay.
And this is a picture of that piece. That's their signature piece, the 40s.
The 40s. And this is all about the end of World War II and the jubilation, because I think Lou Conte choreographed that, and he said that he remembered that, people banging on wash tubs and stuff when he was just a boy and the war ended. And he tried to tell that to the dancers to kind of help them. Now this is the Joffrey, and the Joffrey piece is called Body of Your Dreams. And it's an inventive play on fitness crazes, but underneath the surface is a cautionary message that may be relevant to many of us. So, okay. And then let me talk about This is also the Joffrey, and this one is the Joffrey. Again, okay. And that one.
This is Joffrey.
Wow. All
I
right.
like the Joffrey.
Yeah, well, we had a bunch. Now, this one is Nomi Company, and they're performing a piece for 11 dancers centered on the experience of women, called A Losing Game and Begin Again. These are challenges and consequently the overcoming of obstacles and strength that all women face. Okay? This is Nomi also, and I think, and this last one we're going to see is Chicago Dance Crash, and they do.
They're such fun.
Yes. they're
So
great.
they are acrobatics, hip hop, and concert dance techniques.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about how the fund works. Basically, if you have a critical illness or a chronic illness.
Whatever keeps you from earning your living as a dancer. And it can be a serious illness such as HIV/AIDS or cancer or leukemia or any of those things. A broken leg would certainly,
Definitely.
so we never say to dancers break a leg as they do in the theater.
Yeah.
Because you don't really want to do that.
Okay.
But if they cannot earn a living, even if they have health insurance, and very few companies do, but even if they have health insurance, who's going to pay the rent? Who's going to pay their phone bills, their electric bills, their internet fees? We will.
Okay.
And they just send us their bills,
Okay.
and we pay the bills directly to whoever that is billing them, so that they don't have to worry about any kind of tax implications.
Oh, cool.
So, and we try to do this within 2 weeks
Wow.
of
Application.
of application.
Mark, let's talk a little bit about the whole flavor of participating. You've been a dancer
Yes,
and now you're co-chair.
I was a dancer when I was younger and danced in Dance for Life a number of times, including in Randy Duncan's finale, which is amazing. So to be part of Dance for Life is just so incredible because of the community and the support from other dancers in the community, and we're all coming together for one cause. It's just so amazing. And that need to be part of the dance community helped me to be the co-chair this year. So I say past, present, and future. So I signed on for a few years so I can move along with them into the future.
So this is a real key for your life. I mean, in the beginning you were a dancer, and what I'm told is you have the large companies participating, you have the small companies, and nobody stays in their dressing room. They're all watching.
They're all, yes, supporting each other and applauding.
It's a
and
busy backstage.
Yes.
Everybody's there.
So it's a real networking opportunity for dancers. You
Yeah.
become known to people large and small, but because you're all working for the same good cause.
the dance community is very small.
Okay.
I mean, it seems like there are lots of dancers, but everybody knows
I'm going
everybody.
to do some of Mark's pictures and
So-
Harriet's pictures. Okay.
It's very small, so we're a tight-knit community.
So
We
this
always
is
have
Mark
been.
as a dancer. Okay.
Yeah, that's Mark as a dancer.
This is Mark as a dancer. All right. Okay. The dance community is very small, but again, it's a chance for the audience to sample dance in Chicago.
Correct.
But it's also a gala event. You can dress up.
Right.
But it's also a chance to just
Have
for the dancers.
camaraderie,
Okay.
and we take care of our own.
Okay,
Right?
very cool, very cool.
take care
I'm going
of
to
our own.
use a picture of Harriet here too. So Harriet, I'm going to use the picture of you and Randy Duncan because Randy now choreographs the last piece. This year it's going to be generally it's the last piece, but this year it's the first
It's
piece.
the opener.
And this is a piece with all dancers in it. So this is the two of you, and Randy was a Ida B. Wells resident,
That's when I first met him,
and he was like 15.
I was his teacher, and
And you started teaching him in dance, and now he's a choreographer. He teaches at the Chicago Performing Arts High School.
he runs the dance department and teaches there at the Chicago Academy for the Arts. An
Okay.
incredible place. He also is a guest choreographer and stager at the Yale School of Drama,
Wow.
and pretty impressive man, I would say.
And he choreographed Save the Last Dance, which was a dance movie that you were part of. You were also part of, you check this out on IMTV, or you were part of The Company, which
Yeah.
was a movie about the Joffrey. Nev Campbell played a young ballerina on her way up, and they mentioned Harriet somebody played Harriet, but Harriet actually was also a cameo. So any closing thoughts that we can have about Dance for Life? What can you tell us? We've got like 2 seconds.
Well, besides how good it would make you feel to know you're doing something so charitable, it's fun.
Yes,
We
it's
all
fun.
have a great time,
Yes.
and so does our audience.
Fabulous.
So please come.
Okay. Well, we're going to put the cover on while we switch around again. There it is. Got lots of papers here. So here's the cover, and it's chicagodancersunited.org. Take a look. The tickets start at $15, and it's a great chance to sample Chicago culture.
Welcome back. We're on Can TV with Streetwise, and we have Elliot Youngquest here once again as our co-host. And today, Elliot will be interviewing me.
Thank
We're
you.
gonna see how this goes. I'm looking forward to it, Elliot. So, what you have to ask me, dear?
All right, so how was life before coming to Streetwise?
Well, for me personally, life was like all downhill for me. Okay, it was downhill to the point where I was looking for jobs, and a lot of places didn't want to hire me because of my criminal background record. And so really when I came to Streetwise, it was sort of like the last house on the block, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to earn an honest living.
And when you came to Streetwise, did you think it was going to work for you?
Well, for me personally, I didn't know whether it was going to work for me, but I knew one thing: I had to do something different. I had to do something different because what I was doing was not working. I tried over and over and over again, and I wound up being in and out of jail, not hurting anybody physically, but basically hurting myself. You know, trying to do things that I really wasn't qualified to do, you know, such as, okay, I'm embarrassed to say, but nevertheless, I tried to sell drugs. Okay, and so it's hard to sell drugs, especially if you use them. And so what it did for me, it landed me in and out of jail many a times.
How are things different for you today after being with Streetwise for 5 years?
Things are much different for me today because I realized that I can survive. I can make an honest living, you know, and Streetwise have opened up the door and the opportunity for me to do just that, to make an honest and sober living, you know, because I had a problem with staying sober. So today, with selling Streetwise, it's an honest, sober living for me. So it's an all the way around better life.
What kept inspiring to keep going?
You know, people are very inspirational. You know, when you we have a lot of inspiring stories in Streetwise, you know, about vendors' profile, and you know, just dealing with people, period, can inspire you because it's a lot of people. People have a tendency to help people that help themselves, and I found that out from selling Streetwise, that if you try to do something positive for yourself, you'll be surprised how many people will try to help you do that.
What would you like to say to someone watching this who is thinking about being a vendor?
Well, if you're watching this program and you're thinking about being a vendor, what you're actually thinking about is you're thinking about being your own boss. You know, a lot of people have a vision of, I want to open up my own business one day. I want to be my own boss. You know, well, Streetwise will offer you that opportunity to be your own boss and open up your own business. You know, selling Streetwise is an opportunity to show your tenacity, to show if you have to get up and go about yourself, to show if you have the capabilities of being your own boss, because it requires a lot of discipline.
Thank you, Alan. Do you want to remind everyone when orientation is?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I got to throw in that plug. Orientation, I didn't bring a flyer. I normally have a flyer, but we're going to see how this works. I normally have a flyer, but on the overhead, we can see that orientation is Tuesday and Thursday at 10 o'clock. And when you come, you get 15 free papers, you get an ID badge, and we'll give you a location if you don't already have one. Is that it? Any more
About it.
questions? Okay, well, listen. You know, you was on last week, and we'd like to thank you for coming on this week, and we'd like to thank all our guests, and we'd like to thank Suzanne for the article. And if you can pick up your local Streetwise, but thank you, Elliot. I hope it was a great experience for you. You know, I mean, you following your mother's footsteps. She's a great host, and you're a great co-host. Thank you for coming back again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan and Ellie. And for more information about Streetwise, you can go to www.streetwise.org. Once again, you're on CAN TV Live, Channel 21 with Streetwise. We have just a couple more minutes. So I just, before we, let some of our guests come back on and maybe just have a way to round out the show.
Okay.
What are the next couple issues of Streetwise that customers can look forward to out on the street? We got the big, what?
The Air and Water Show is coming up
That's
next
right.
week. Yes, we have a story on the Air and Water Show. The vendors love this because it's pictures, fabulous pictures of aerobatics, and so we do that. We also have a story by the former editor of the Columbia College Chronicle who talked about disasters. Is Chicago prepared for disasters? We've had tornadoes, we've had snowstorms, we've had heat. Are we prepared for this? And could we be better prepared? So we will be doing that story. We may even have her on. A story that we're going to do upcoming in early September is Chicago's Theater Guide. Now, again, you may wonder, why is Streetwise doing a theater guide? Well, there's a number of reasons. First of all, it does help the vendors when they have interactions with their readers. Their readers will say, oh, I didn't know about this show, and this is something I can keep. Our festival guide is something people keep around all year, so why not a theater guide for our indoor festival season? Because Chicago is known for theater. And the other reason is that, just like the dancers that we previewed today, there's a lot of people in Chicago who are living very cheaply, concisely, so that they can prepare for their dream. And that's theater people. And so we're celebrating them. There's a lot of theaters that also do shows about news events such as hunger, sexual trafficking, peace. We'll be previewing all of them. So that's why. So yeah, look for more of the same. Good news.
Maybe we should do a dance company guide.
Maybe we should. And I have the people because I've met them. You met them today. Okay.
Excellent. So once again, we'll put up our website. You can see from this, we are actually having our own celebration later in September. We are honoring the 20 most inspiring Chicagoans picked by us, our board, and some panelists. Out of hundreds of nominations, so we're
from the public.
From the public.
From the public.
So we are really proud of our honorees, all 20 of them, and look forward to celebrating them at the end of August, end of September.
Okay.
So Suzanne, do you want to bring our guests back in for
Sure.
any final words, a final plug?
Okay, I'm going to let them figure out what they want to say that would
Final
be
plug.
a final plug.
It's your show.
And this is a huge venue. You've told me that it's of course a Louis Sullivan designed building, but you've told me it's
Sullivan and
fabulous
Idler.
for
It
dance.
is gorgeous.
Because it's
and
close.
Yes, it's the old circular opera house, so that when you're on stage, you feel like your audience is hugging you. And the sight lines are perfect wherever you go. And the audience, even though there's over 3,500 seats in it, feels very close to the stage.
Cool.
So it's a very personal, large opera house.
Cool. Okay, well, that's our show for this week. We want to thank you for watching us on CAN TV, and we hope you'll go to Dance for Life, and you will look at Chicago Dancers United, because there's 3,500 seats. This one, you can probably get a seat for. So thank you very much to our guests, Harriet Ross and Mark Ferguson Gomez.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.